Hi, Adam from Balancing Touch, and I just got back from outside, and what a beautiful day. It's nice and sunny out, and it's showing hints of spring. There's a couple little flowers that are already coming up, and we're sort of done with any type of snow. We usually don't get too much snow in Vancouver here, but this year we got a couple dumps of it, and so there's, that's all gone now. The winter weather basically leaves this beat up earth almost, right? It's sort of like this cleansing, there's lots of debris around, everything's kind of muddy, and some parts of spring are really not nice, right? So it's kind of like, it's natural for us to go into spring cleaning mode because we want to, organize things and make everything look nice so we're not stepping across, old sort of rotting leaves and things like that. And just wait a sec here. But there are some beautiful parts about it also. Like, look at this leaf I found. It's so pretty, right? Just how you're able to see, it's almost like a skeleton, right? You're able to see the inside of it because all the layer has been, sort of decomposed off of it, right? So it's kind of a neat thing. But there's a lot of beauty in spring, and so it's just a great time of the year to also do spring cleaning. Not only physically grabbing things that you haven't been using for a while and dusting it off and seeing, is this something that I need in my life, and if it isn't, then either getting rid of it by throwing it out or giving it to somebody who's could use it. It's just really a great time to sort of declutter and clean up, right? And so not only physically in your space, but also internally too, right? So this is a great time that I find of the year to find out what has been working in your life and what hasn't, and maybe what's just been getting in the way, collecting dust, right? And one of the great things about being a reflexologist is we have access to our feet, which give us a lot of insight into what has been going on or how we've been walking through life, right? And that's what I find so exciting about being a reflexologist, is being able to read the feet, right? Having a tool so close in access that can give us ideas on where maybe we are getting stuck in life, or where we're kind of like walking along and hitting walls or things like that, right? So I find it a great time of the year to kind of take a look at my feet and assess where I want to go next, right? And that sort of brings me to what this video is about, and I came across an exciting book and also person in reflexology that I wanted to share with you. You can see the book behind me there. I got it a couple weeks ago now through Amazon, and it's awesome. I'm so excited to share this with you. So let's take a look at foot reading. So, foot reading, a reflexology primer on foot assessment by Sam Belyea. I have to admit, I'm terrible with names. Sam, I can get. Belyea, I'm gonna go with that. Let's just see. I'm gonna check on the internet here. There's a website for how to pronounce names. Wow. Okay, let's see here. Belyea. All right, I think I was right. Well, sorry, Sam, if I am. Oops. Let's turn this up. Sorry, Sam, if I've mispronounced your last name. I'm terrible with names. So anyway, this book is by Sam Belyea, and I love this book. I've spent maybe 2 weeks now kind of skimming through it and just kind of checking out how it is. And what I love about Sam's approach and the way that he can speak is amazing. So if you don't know anything about Sam, I'm just new to him as well, and I've found some YouTube videos on him, and the guy is amazing. He can just speak so clearly and directly and in such a nice and gentle way that makes foot reading, and also I'm sure his clients, just feel absolutely empowered with the information that he's able to deliver. So I had to, when I was listening to his videos, I was really intrigued because I've also been studying a little bit of Chinese medicine and things like that, and he kept mentioning the elements, right? So the elements being earth, air, fire, and water, right? So, and then how those elements sort of work and present themselves in the body, right? And so I was really intrigued by it, his way of saying, this is related to a water issue or things like that. And so that's why I wanted to buy this book, is because, I wanted to explore that a little bit deeper. And it's so great because Sam's clarity with the way that he speaks definitely comes through in this book. I've read a bunch of other, how to read foot books, and because the topic is so vast, a lot of books are kind of like scattered. It's hard to follow, or it's hard to get to the point. But somehow he has been able to just really streamline and get the points that he wanted to out in this book so clearly, and I love that about this book. So it's an easy read, it's an easy understanding, it's not at all simple as far as the information presented. It's very complex and very thorough, but he's able to present it in such a way that's easy to understand and comprehend, and that's one of the things that I really look for in a book, first of all, and also in visuals, right? I just want it to take a complex thing and just make it as simple and digestible as possible, right? So, and then he's done this. So as far as the visuals go, there's not a lot of visuals, but there are some great maps, right? So you have the foot map here, where again he uses his awesome system of dividing into horizontal zones and vertical zones, right? And then he does the hand chart as well. There's also face, horizontal and vertical lines, and then there's also a bonus ears one as well. So he covers all of them in this little book. So something else that I really love about this book, and it just shows that he must be such a great teacher. I've never taken any classes with him, but you can just tell that he's so good at organizing information, because at the end of each section here, he'll have a section recap, right? Which is so great because it gives you basically a point form or an overview of what you've already covered. And so if you're kind of reading through here and you kind of missed some of the points, then you realize that maybe you need to go back and study it a bit more. For me, that's really important because of the way that I operate is I like to get an overview of something before I dive right into it. And so you're able to actually get in there and learn a bit about it. There's so much information in here. It's easily laid out. And then he gives you a way to practice this information by giving you a little section here called Documenting Your Foot Reading Consultations, right? And he has a beautiful little method to follow. And here's the form here, basically note form as you're going through. And what I love about it is he keeps it nice and simple. Instead of, I find with foot reading as well, it's like what is important and what do you need to look at. And so a lot of people, when you're first starting out, just write down 5,000 things, every little line, every little detail, and they spend too long, and then they get so much into the detail that they're losing the sort of bigger picture. And what I love about this method is he basically just gives you he gives you an acronym here, which is SOAP, which is basically S stands for subjective, objective, assessment, and then plan. And then in the document here, in your practice form, I love it because subjective, basically, the reason for them to come, the timeline of any type of issues and some feedback. So basically like talking with the client, right? So write down that kind of information. And then what I love is going into the observations, just how many markers, how many things stick out, and he just gives you 3. And I think that's awesome because, pick the top 3 that stick out. That way you don't get so lost in all the detail, right? And so it makes it really clear, and that's what I love about his work and also his videos that he shares on YouTube, is he keeps it simple and sort of allows you to work and dig deeper with the client just by accessing, like basically working with the main topics, right? And then, you know, as you work with a client, you can kind of like peel the layers and work that way, right? And I think that's just really great. Just have 3 options. What are the 3 things that stick out, right? And write those down, right? And then assessment, basically, like marker 1, what is the main thing here, right? So I just love it, right? Marker 2, marker 3, right? So then you look at a little bit more into detail on each of those. So you work with those 3, the ones that stick out. And then basically, like, what's the plan? Right, so what, and who cares if you know all this information and stuff, but what can you give the client to sort of move on and work with it? And I think that's just a great way and simple way to work with this, right? And so then he gives you some examples of some clients, which is awesome, so you can have some feedback in how to do it. So what's really great about this book is there's lots of information. It gives you lots of information to work with, and then at the end, it's like, it's practical. How do you use this information? How can you work with it? And he gives you some examples, and I just think that's really nice. So it's a whole kind of package in this book, right? And so good job, Sam. So before I even purchased this book, I came across Sam through some YouTube videos, and I was amazed by the way that he can just communicate. The YouTube channel is the Foot Whisperer Reflexology Institute, and you can just search on YouTube for that, or I can just leave a link in the description below. Also, he has quite a popular Facebook group as well, which I haven't been too active in. I'll put a link to that on the bottom as well. So anyway, thanks for watching, and just a little bit of food for thought, and also I highly recommend getting this book as part of a at least for me, I'm going to be adding it into my spring cleaning routine. So anyway, thanks for watching, and if there's any books that you really love and you want to share them with me, please leave a comment below on what you're really into, and maybe even some spring cleaning methods that you do. I'd love to hear about them. Anyway, Adam from Bouncing Touch, and I will catch you in the next video.